They took a look at 30 states and test score results from roughly 8,000 school districts to measure pandemic losses and gains before and after the pandemic. Now, they found student achievement improved between spring of 2022 and spring of 23 all across the nation, where students gained back about 1/3 of what was lost in math and 1/4 in reading. And while this is a pretty big deal, the recovery was not enough to deal with the achievement gaps between high and low poverty districts highlighted during the pandemic, which are now much wider. While there were gaps in achievement before the pandemic, Tom Kane, professor of education and economics at Harvard University, says
a lot of districts have lost ground relative to where they themselves were in 2019, and those losses were larger for the higher poverty districts.
For example, Ohio was one of 8 states where the 2023 gap in math scores between high and low income districts is more than half a grade level larger now than in 2019. Ohio was also one of 6 states where the gap in reading scores between those districts grew by more than half a grade level from 2019 to 2023. And then one of 4 states with the largest widening of gaps in math and reading. Looking at the data in wealthier school districts,
Centerville, Hilliard, Sylvania Schools, Forest Hills Local, Worthington, all of those communities are back above where they were in 2019. Actually, a couple of them more than half a grade level above where they were in 2019.
But when you look at the large urban districts around the state that deal with higher poverty rates, the losses were larger, meaning a half a grade or further behind than they were in 2019. Researchers attribute that to a lack of access to resources in those communities. While they cited a number of contributing factors to the losses, like longer pandemic closures and less access to internet, Kane believes districts across the country need to realize students need more time to catch up with teachers through summer learning, after-school programs, or tutoring, and they need to alert parents now.
Inform parents this semester, so before the spring testing, which kids are behind grade level, so that parents have time to sign up for summer learning this summer.
Not surprised at some of the findings, Ohio Education Association President Scott Tomorrow says it only reveals the systemic issues OEA saw before the pandemic. His concern now is about the sustainability of the recommendations, considering federal funds will expire, the millions now going towards vouchers and high-dosage tutoring.
We have to make sure that we're not falling into the trap that we've fallen into so many times in the past, where chasing after test scores means drilling and killing in reading and math, and really causing students to become even more disengaged.
That's in addition to making sure anyone providing the tutoring or other supplemental education is qualified. In the meantime, while Kane acknowledges there were improvements in math and reading across the state, he and Tomorrow believes state leaders will need to be more actively involved.
If state legislators want better data on what the efficacy of taxpayers' dollars are, they ought to, require districts to keep better records.
Better records so they can see what really worked and more dollars invested if the final stage of recovery is to be successful. For Spectrum News, I'm Tanisha Johnson.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. For more stories in your communities, click the subscribe button right here. You can also download our app or watch us on TV for the latest news and weather updates every 10 minutes and more. We'll see you then.